Hello, everybody. I'm going live. This is the first time that I'm going to be going live across my platforms here, which is um, really, this is the first time I'm doing it. So it's kind of like weird for me. I haven't done this yet. So just bear with me if I start to make mistakes, but everything should be great. Um, So today's live, I'm going live today. So today's live, we're going to be talking about energy vampires. But I wanted to, before we start talking about that, there was a couple things that I wanted to talk to you guys about with it. And the one thing that I wanted to mention is that I am starting, or I will be doing. I've decided to put together a gallery reading for online. So I've never done them online. I've always been doing them live, but people keep reaching out and asking if I'm going to be doing more events. So I'm going to try an online one. And I know this is the thing: people have been fed up with doing stuff online because of the whole COVID thing. So I'm going to give it a try. It's going to be on May 4th at 6:30. So that's the date of the online gallery. The tickets are on sale now. So if you want to, you can go over to my website, which is in the comments there. But for people that are watching from other places, it's www.psychicmediumbella.com. So I'll be doing online gallery readings. I do have another event coming up, but the tickets aren't going on sale until April. So I'm not going to really go into it, but it's a big one. So I'll gonna give you a little teaser now about that. Also, I wanted to say people have been emailing me and reaching out about wanting to do the event that's coming up in April at the Bearded Dog. Unfortunately, it has been sold out for weeks now. Not only that, they have limited seating in there. I wish that I could get more people. It's actually over. It's got more people that, like, it only really seats 24, and I think there's like 29 people there, so I can't fit anybody else. I wish I could. I've had people that has reached out to me, people that have emailed me asking me if I can get more tickets and stuff, and I at this point I can't fit anybody in there. It wouldn't be fair for anyone else to get in there. So unfortunately, the April, I don't even know what day it is. It is April 14th, I think. I think it's April 14th. April 14th day is completely full. Sorry. I wish I could give you guys something else. But I will be announcing another date. Um, Maybe I'll reach out to Bearded Dog and see if I can add in another date somewhere. So that I'm just pulling up my stuff here so I can talk to you guys about it, so I don't sound like a blood alert, just sound like an idiot. You think I would have this up already, but I don't. If you're just joining me, let me know you're here. Say hi in the comments, because then it's just me talking to myself. It's kind of a weird thing, but I'm just confirming the dates on that. The Bearded Dog. Oh, I don't even see it here. But anyways, it's sold out. So sorry. I was watching there was something I want to talk to you guys about too. So hi Natalie, hi Kathy. There was something else that I wanted to talk to you guys about too, that if people are not watching me live, they'll be able to watch this on playback. My friend was telling me a story about this guy that she knew, and he was doing some construction. It always happens during construction, doing some renovations in his home. I believe it was outside, and they were digging up some stuff, and he found a bottle or a jar of something, buried. Something was buried, and like it was buried underneath near his house or whatever it was. And instead of leaving it where it's at or reburying it, he actually took it in the house with him and he opened it. Now, I don't want to scare anybody. The thing was, after he opened it up and brought it in the house, people started seeing shadow people in the home. Started seeing shadows. He started seeing things in the house, and it's slowly, I guess, over time. And I don't know how long it's been. Um, Slowly, it's been getting worse. Hi, Marianne. It's been getting worse. It's he says that whenever he walks in the home, it's very heavy. He doesn't feel well in the house, but when he leaves the home, it's okay. So that whatever, I don't know what was in the contents of the bottle or whatever it was. It was buried on his property. I don't think believe this is the thing. I don't believe it was buried specifically on his property to do him any harm. I think where his house is originally, that was just like regular forest, whatever it was, and someone went there and did some whatever it was and buried something there. And then years later, they moved everything and buried a house and made a house here, and it just so happened that it was on his property. So my warning to you is if you're doing any type of renovations and you see something like that, and if it's outside of your property, just rebury it where you found it or keep it where it is and don't take it into the house with you. Do not open it or anything like that. If you're, you know, digging something up and you happen to break the bottle, then you might want to use a little bit of salt and salt it and just rebury it and keep it there, because you don't want to disturb it this because this gentleman has been going through some stuff now. I think my friend ended up sending him over some stuff to cleanse the home and everything else, but I don't know. I don't have any more information on how he's doing. But yeah, so that's just like my little warning to you guys. So if you know, happen to run into this, because people do, especially now with weather's being nice and you're going to be putting in like a deck or whatever it is, you're going to be digging and you may dig something up that you don't want to, that you have no idea what it is. And it might look interesting because it's got little trinkets and stuff in there. So just put it back into the earth where it was and just cover it back up and it'll be fine. If you did need to move it for whatever reason, because of whatever construction reason, then maybe reach out to someone who's into reach out to somebody that knows that's into the woo woo stuff, into the magic stuff, so that they can dispose of it properly. Do not try to do it yourself. Because it wasn't always end up well. So that's just my little warning for you guys. So hopefully this helps certain people. But tonight we're going to be talking about energy vampires. And I know the word itself sounds very scary. Energy vampires, they're going to suck the energy out of you. It's why it's called. But the thing that we have to understand is that we, in a sense, are all energy vampires. I can be an energy vampire to someone else, just as someone can be an energy vampire to me. It just means my frequency is different than theirs. So instead of me feeding their frequency, instead of me feeding them, I could actually be repelling them, like sucking their energy, and they feel just completely drained. I'm not meaning to do it, but that's just the way we are. That's the way we're made up. We're opposites. You run into people all the time where there's for no reason, and I do this all the time. There's no reason, you just don't like that person. There is no reason, you just don't like that person's vibe. So that person to you is an energy vampire, because there's your energy, your frequencies are completely different, and that's okay. So every one of us is going to be an energy vampire to someone else. So it's not as scary as people, as the name. So they're not there to suck your blood or anything like that. But we're going to get into that, because there is going to be, I have 6 things that we'll go through that you can identify when you're actually in the presence of an energy vampire. And these can be anybody. They can be your family members. They can be actually even your spouse. So, so yeah. So there's just little things to look out to. So, um, now I've met, and we've all had, like, the one story that it kind of comes to mind with my energy vampire, which I had never met anybody like this. I was at Michael's store, and I was just looking at I was looking at some craft stuff that I was looking to put together. And this woman, my husband was with me, and we were talking and whatever. And this woman came and stood next to me, and she picked up something next to me, and I felt fine. I felt fine. I was like, great. I was in a good mood. And all of a sudden, this woman just stood next to me. She didn't say one word to me. She's standing next to me. Next thing you know, I looked at my husband. My head started spinning, and I felt like someone had just completely drained every ounce of energy out of me. Like I could have dropped to the floor and had a nap. That, like, I was just so exhausted. And she stood there for a while, to the point where I couldn't physically even say anything. I couldn't speak. And my husband saw my face, and my face had turned thank you, Marianne. My face had turned pale. And he said, "What's wrong? What's the matter?" And I said, "I just don't feel well." And she was the only other person beside us. And then the moment this woman walked away, the feeling started to go away. It was almost like, when you get a recharging coming up, you see that recharging button go up on the battery. That's how I felt. And that nauseous feeling, and the feeling of, the headache and everything, it just slowly started to go away. And then I remember looking over at her, and I was just like, oh my God, that woman, for whatever reason, is that energy vampire. To me, she is. Now, my husband was there, didn't have an issue at all. But to me, she was. And he at first didn't believe me, to tell you the truth. And then she went off and she paid her stuff, and she happened to walk by me again. And I didn't know she did. And when she walked by me again, I felt again that instant drop in energy. And it was just a split second, but I felt it. It was like a jolt. And I just kind of jolted, and I just did a thumbs up. And I don't know why on the screen, but I don't know if you guys saw it. I just jolted, and it was a weird experience. And I had never experienced anything like that to that extreme again. But it's a very it's a weird thing. And sometimes people are just thinking, oh my God, it must be something I ate. No, not necessarily. So I'm going to go through 6 signs for you to be aware of when it might be an energy vampire that you're either talking to, or you're sitting beside, or has come to talk to you for whatever reason. So the very first sign is you're experiencing a loss of attention. You're struggling to pay attention to a conversation and to stay focused on what being said to you. So we've all had those moments where you're sitting there, you're talking to somebody, and all of a sudden your mind just starts to drift, and the person continues talking, and you just can't. As much as you're trying to pay attention to what they're saying, you can't. It doesn't compute. And you'll have them repeated a couple times, to the point where you're almost embarrassed to have them repeated again. And you just kind of like, yeah, yeah, okay. And you just kind of agree. That could be one of the signs of you being them being an energy vampire to you. Number 2, you're tired. You've gotten plenty of sleep, but you find yourself covering your mouth and trying not to yawn. That's another thing that you got. You also lack creativity or inspiration. You feel like you've lost interest and aren't motivated. So we've all been there, where we're somewhere, and then all of a sudden we've got this thing that we want to do, and then we go into a group, and then you've got no motivation to do anything. Everybody else kind of does it, and your creativity just kind of got sucked out, and you just want to just sit there and not really do much. That could be someone in that group is your energy vampire. I was going to say energy sucker, but I guess same thing. You're selective of who you spend time with and for how long. And after leaving certain people, you feel like taking a nap. So sometimes your own intuition will set yourself off. So if somebody invites you to a outing, and you're like, I really don't want to go because so and so is going to be there, or doesn't even have to be. You just like, I just don't feel like going. and then you end up pushing through because you're like, I keep canceling on this person. You get there, and then you just want to take a nap. That could be the fact, just look around, and then start to pay attention of who is it that you feel that feeling around. Um, and number 6 is kind of a weird thing, but I've had it happen a couple of times where you don't find something, like somebody tells you a joke, which they think is hilarious, and everyone else around you thinks it's hilarious. And I never really understood this one, but I've been there where someone's like, "Oh my God, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen." And then, or I've ever heard or whatever, and then they tell you the same joke and you don't find it funny. You're just like, "Oh." And, I never would have thought when I was doing the research for this, I never would have thought that that was, an energy vampire thing. It didn't connect with me. I just thought, well, maybe I just like I have a different sense of humor than this person, but apparently that's one of the signs. So look for it. So if everyone else finds this person hilarious and you're like, "Oh my God, I can't stand them," that might be your energy vampire. So you might wanna just like, you know, take off, go hang out with Jacob from Twilight instead of Edward. I'm just kidding. Okay, so here's the thing: if how to tell if you're an energy vampire, and I kind of touched it on this a little bit. I'm just gonna read it because it's kind of like easier. You may be talking to someone, and both of you feel drained after talking to each other. And that is because you are both from two different frequencies. You vibrate and communicate differently. And because of that, you actually repel each other. And because of this, you can feel like the energy has literally been sucked out of you after interacting with each other. And this is the thing, you may be intrigued by that. This is the thing. You may be intrigued by this person and want to spend time with them and love them and want and are infatuated with them. You want to spend time with them, but you're completely opposite. So be aware that these people are one half of the population and you are the other half. So, and this is exactly what I was talking about. You can be infatuated with this person, you can be married to them, you can be, in love with them, they can be your best friend, but you talk to each other. And that whole term, when I was reading this originally and I just rewording it a little bit, that term frenemies came to mind. And it's that term where it's like you like to hang out with this person, but there's just something about them that irritates the F out of you. That's the term frenemies, and that's what that is. And that's what you guys are together. Because we see them with celebrities all the time. But yeah, that's one way for you to know if this is actually one of your energy vampires. And the same you are to them as well. So, how to protect yourself from these energy vampires? If you want to spend time with someone that's important to you, but feel that they are draining, make sure that you have plenty of rest. Certain people, this is a thing. If you're related to some of these energy vampires, which some of us are, it's hard not to be around them, or if you married to that person, it's hard. So just be aware of it. Is get plenty of rest. And if you start to feel drained, some of them could be coworkers as well. So this is the one they're talking about. You step away from them and you get some fresh air. Going outside is really great. It's grounding. It'll help you get that energized to go, excuse me, to go back in. Um, when you're together, make sure that you fully embrace that both of you are uniquely different and commit to the quality time that you have with each other. So the biggest thing is you're going to have to just realize that you guys are different and that you guys are going to agree to disagree and not try to clash as well, because that is also very draining, especially when there's certain people they just irritate you. I have been with people where the sound of their voice is like nails on chalkboard with me. And I've had to come to terms with it's not them, it's just that I vibrate on a different frequency from them. And it's by learning this that there's nothing that they can do. There is nothing that they can do that's going to make it better or make me not so much take that feeling away, because we vibrate in a different frequency, and that's just the way it's going to be. So we will tolerate each other in little pockets. So my limit is usually about 20 minutes. And then I have to have a buffer in there. So what I will I'll do is, if I'm going to go hang out with one of these people or whatever it is, not to say none of the you beautiful people that are on tonight, but there has been certain times. So if I'm going to be going to hang out with some of these people, that I know is my energy vampire that's going to do this to me, I will take a buffer person with me. And my buffer person usually is my cousin, or one of my other relatives that I'm okay with hanging with, or a friend. So that way, if this person starts to get on my nerves, I can just say, you know what, I'm going to go to the bathroom and kind of step away, or I just have to, exactly. So you just step away. So always take, with me, my advice to you is take a buffer person with you if you can, or have something set up. So time your limits that you can hang out with these people. With me, I can do 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes tops before I have to step away for a little bit and take a little bit of a breather, and just whoo, 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 get into my prepare to get back in to that war. Yeah, buffer person is a really good idea. That buffer is as long as the person is not their energy vampire as well. So you have to ask, are you okay with this person? And if they're like, yeah, they don't bother me, you take that buffer person with you, and you take that person every time. Like, you become a package deal. If I go there, she's going to come with me, or he's going to come with me, because I need him. And that's the other thing is, while you're getting while you're stepping back a little bit energetically, so that it's not going to be so draining for you, that person that's the buffer person can step in and continue the conversation, so it makes it easier. um and it's important to remember that nobody is intentionally trying to suck the life out of you. And if you choose not to hang out with somebody, that's okay too. You can do that without guilt or shame or blame. Just honor that you are both uniquely different. And that's what I've done, with some people in my life. But yeah, my advice is, if there's certain people, there's certain coworkers, you can't, they're co-workers. You have to work unless you decide to find a new job. But there's always going to be someone, at a place that you go to, that is going to be on a different frequency. And I've had a couple places like that, where I've gone to work there, and I love everybody except a couple of people. And there'll be one that are worse than the other. That, even the son of there was one, oh man, I don't really want to spill the tea, but there was one woman that I didn't like, her coughing irritated me. And I had to go in and reflect and say, why this woman, just the pure sight of her make me want to throw hands. And I had to realize she's just on a completely different, I would say, planet than I am, but that's just me. Some people are worse than others, and you're just going to have to embrace it. Embrace it, because that's just the way it is. And, do it with a smile, send them love and kindness. But in your head, kick their ass. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Gonna I'm not gonna promote that. But that's the one thing I wanted to say. So get your buffer person. I mean, give them a different name. Not just, you're my buffer person. I mean, make them feel special. But my cousin Nancy is my buffer person. And she knows she is, and I am hers as well. So I mean, it goes both ways, with it. But I seem to be a little more needing the buffer than she does. So that's pretty much how it is. um so you tend to see us go out together. So I was supposed to meditate a little bit, because I did have earlier today, I was like, I think I'm gonna give like there's a guided message that needs to be given to you people. To you people. I don't mean to address it, but to everybody, my followers. There's a guided message that needs to be, and I promised my guides that I would sit down and get the message. I didn't do that. I forgot. I got busy. So I'm asking forgiveness from them for not doing that. And I will have to remember to do it for next week, so I can give you guys a little bit of wisdom from my guides, because they wanted to pass on a little bit of their wisdom on to you guys. There is a message that I know I have it written somewhere that they had given it to me before, but I didn't sit down for the whole message. So basically, they're just saying, be kind to one another, because the uh, things are bad enough outside. So just to be kind with one another. So instead, I'm going to pull some cards for you guys, because I was a bad girl. Not that bad, but could have been better. So I'm going to choose 3 cards, so you guys can pick from 1 to 3, and I'll read out. You already know that I'm not a card reader, so I have to read the book. Yeah, I know I'm bad, but I'm actually a really good medium. I just don't use cards, but I will today for you guys. I'm going to pick out 3 cards and give you guys a little something to take into. So I should put an intention. This is the other thing. I'm doing all of this like backwards, because I'm not used to being on this format this way. So I'm so messed up today. Every time you shuffle the cards, you always set an intention so that they know what you're shuffling for. Otherwise, if I pulled the cards right now, they're just going to be for me. So I'm going to start again, and I'm going to set the intention of, guides, give me, I usually say this, like, what do I need to know? But I'm going to say today, what does everyone here need to know? What does the collective need to know? So I'm going to pick out some cards for these people. So, and you know what you need? I need to get one of those automatic shufflers, like for the poker tables, and like 3 pop out. That would be like awesome. So number 1, number 2, and number 3. Oh God, number 3. I'm using the card deck from Kyle Gray today. I always use Kyle Gray because he's my go-to guy. I've never met the man. He's from Scotland, but I love Kyle Gray. And the set I have today, and these are like today's, for some reason I go in stages, and I don't know if it's like the season. So I'm still, because we still got winter today, I'm using Angels and Ancestors is my card deck that I'm using today. So I love this card deck. Oh my God. No, I don't mean to be that. It doesn't sound nice when I say, oh my God. But I'm going to. So anybody that picked card number 1 is Father Sky. I'll share the card in a minute. Just going to want to preempt it. Father Sky is card number 1. It's actually a very beautiful card. Trust in the unknown. So let's see what your message is. Trust that your path is unfolding exactly as it needs to. You have a personal relationship with the Great Father, knowing that He is lovingly leading you forward. So, whoever picked card number 1, know that trust what you're doing. Trust the way you're going. Even though it might not make sense to you, it doesn't need to make sense to you. You just need to follow the path and keep on it. People that pick the shaman, trust in the higher forces. Today's all about trust, my God. Or my God. Shaman, trust in the higher forces. This is a good card. Something for. Trust in your angels and guides and ancestors. You have given your power away. Claim it back. So number 2, you need to bring back your power. You're giving someone else, you've been leaking out your power. You've been giving it away. So you need to bring that back. So call back your power. And it's very easy. You just need to repeat after me. I call back my power from wherever wherever it went. I'm sorry for giving it away. I need it back now. So bring back my power. And it's back. But yeah, a lot of times when you start to, especially if you trust in the wrong people, that's giving back your power. And not just that, you need to trust your gut intuition. There's more to that card. They want me to say it. You need to really trust your intuition. And when your intuition is telling you no, the answer is no. No matter how kindly the person says, oh yeah, it's going to be great. No, it may be great for them and it may be beneficial to them, but it's not the best for you. So trust that and call back your power and take that back. And number 3 is the elder. I'll show you guys that in a minute. The elder is move beyond ancestral patterns. Ooh, those ones are hard to, those ones can be difficult to break, especially when it's ancestral. But this is, the card is beautiful. So move beyond the limitations that have been set to you by your family members, past and present. Know that the energy of your spirit is more powerful than genetics and behavioral patterns. So trust in yourself. We've all grown up with limitations that were put on us by family members saying, we're not good enough. We can't do it. Why are you doing this? You just those words alone is already enough to put me on my thing. But claim back your power. All of these cards are great, but it's time that you break that generational curse of not being good enough and limiting yourself from doing stuff. There's no reason to limit yourself. If you want to do it and you want to do it naked under the moonlight while holding a banjo, you go for it. You go for it. You go. That's you. You do you. And that's basically what it's all about. So stop thinking that you can't do it and stop trying to please other people. Especially sometimes it's difficult, especially your parents, because we're always trying to do for our parents. We're trying to show them that, we've done this, we can do this, and we're great. It's time for us to just do it for ourselves. Yeah, I'm happy that you came as well, Marianne. So that's the way you're going to be breaking these generational curses, and not curses, but these generational blocks. So I wish all of you the most amazing weekend ever. I hope it warms up for everybody. My husband and I are going car shopping this weekend because we are down to one vehicle. Our other vehicle broke down. So we're down to one car, which means I have no car, which is fine because I do work from here. I have to walk 3 feet, but yeah, I need to get another car. So next week I'm going to be coming on again, and we're going to be talking about intuition and our abilities and things. I haven't really put together the next show, the next live, but I think maybe I'll do one understanding your spirit guides. Maybe something we'll touch on the spirit guide things or something like that. I think that one's probably a good one. But again, I just want to tell you guys all that I'm going to be doing a live gallery reading. Tickets are $25, and I'm not making it really huge. So $25. It's going to be May 4th at 6:30. So you can go to my website, psychicmediumbella.com, and get the tickets through there. So thank you very much, everyone. And I will see you next week. Bye.